Whoa. Paceroos interviewed Johnny Furphy.
Ooh.
Well,
he's Australian.
Yeah. Fair enough. And the last show they put out was that show. And that was a long time ago. About 6 months ago.
Was it?
Right after Johnny got drafted, I think.
Well, that makes sense, though. They're in the Southern Hemisphere, and it's the off-season for them.
Right?
Oh, okay. Yeah, sure. So, like, during our summer, they're full-time Pacer analysts.
When they were interviewing him, Furphy had just hit a game winner in the playoffs, probably, for the Pacers, I assume. I'm assuming the finals.
Time zones is amazing.
Yeah. Also, not time zones, but whatever.
Time zones is.
They got that interview and just dropped the mic, and now they're done.
They did. They were like, "We got Furphy. We can't top this.
Yeah, there's nothing else to be done.
We can just
reach the mountaintop.
Turn the internet off. We've done it."
Yeah, so just prepare to...
It'll be great.
It'll be perfect.
Y'all motherfuckers don't watch us play throughout the year, to tell you the truth. I'm gonna be real with you, and I don't care if I get fined.
I got my sweet jerk off. Put some shoes on.
That train is off the track.
Who doesn't love the bouncy castle?
Hitler.
Just prepare to... just prepare to be awash in undebeatable goodness.
Welcome, Pacers fans. You were listening to the Undebeatables, your semi-weekly Pacers podcast. Today is Sunday, March 30th, 2025, and this is episode 754. Coming to you from Indianapolis, Indiana. I'm your host, Joey Gafrida, the man behind the dials. This show, we're going to discuss, a 3-in-1 week.
Nope.
2-2 week
Yep.
of Pacers basketball, with games against Minnesota, Los Angeles, Lakers. The Wizards are a team, right?
Technically.
And the Oklahoma City Thunder, who are very much a team. Joining me this show are all three of our analysts, coast to coast, like buttered toast. First, from the high school home of Jameson Brewer, Silver Spring, Maryland, it's the doctor, Jason Triplett.
What is up, Pacers fans? What is up, Undebeatables? Birthday shout-outs this week. Tuesday, my nephew has a birthday. No idea how old that kid is. Wednesday, the bartender has a birthday.
What?
Ooh.
And then on Friday, my mother-in-law has a birthday. So, happy birthdays all around.
Happy birthdays.
Happy birthdays. From Asheville, North Carolina, he's our in-house bartender mixing up the drinks in the crappy jingles. It's that old chestnut, John Colson.
What is up, Pacer Nation? What is up, Undebeatables? Shout out to the doctor. I was with him. We'll talk about it, I'm sure, on the show as we go through some of these games. But I know you all be shocked that Jason is an incredibly gracious host and organized a day in D.C. for me flawlessly. So, had a great time.
Sweet.
Yeah.
From Tacoma, Washington, out west, it's our enforcer, John Harper.
What's going on, fellas? Yeah, it was also T.J. McConnell and Miles Turner's birthdays last week.
Whoa.
Shouts
Shout
out.
out.
Shouts update that calendar. But yeah, those guys have been on the team long enough that it still works.
And shout out to the Final Four, I guess.
Yeah.
All one seeds?
Yep.
There you go.
Before we get into the rest of the show, I do want to remind listeners that they can support us, the longest running Pacers podcast, by heading over to patreon.com/undebeatables. And you can support our show for as little as $1 per month. And look, have we ever interviewed Johnny Furphy on our show? No, we have not. But we deliver analysis nearly semi-weekly, many weeks. All right?
That's right. And, we might be number 3 on a top 14 list, but we know we're number 1 in your hearts.
Yeah. So, if we're number 1 in your hearts, send us $1 a month over at patreon.com/undebeatables. All right, team. It's been a long time since I've been here. Last show, you guys, we've all been missing shows for various reasons. And last week, there was a ton of them. This week, we had 4 games to talk about. 4, interesting games, if nothing else. The first one, Pacers take on the Minnesota Timberwolves Monday, March 24th at home, and they win 119-103 in what could be considered at this time of Pacers play as a normal win. They have a good lead most of the game, and nothing crazy happens in the last 5 minutes. Pacers just win. From the Pacers side, big night from Tyrese Halliburton, who has been, gotta say, pretty great over the last few months consistently. And Nesmith dropping 17. And Obi Toppin off the bench with 20. Wednesday, March 26th, Pacers at home again against the LA Lakers. And if you saw this game, just utter heartbreak. LeBron tips in a shot at the buzzer, and they win. Lakers win by 1. After LeBron had been really quiet, essentially the whole first half, and then into this, the second half was picking up just a little bit. Luka, I think Luka started out slow too. No. First half he was on fire. It was the opposite of that. He ended up with 34, and I think LeBron's double-digit scoring streak was in jeopardy there for a bit, but he silenced that by winning the game in our faces on the road. Third game of the week. Game is in quotes here. Thursday, March 27th. Pacers head to the Capital One Arena. Jason and Colson, you guys were in the building for this record-breaking evening. Pacers destroy the Washington Wizards 162-109. 162 points in regulation. 162 points while the offensive team was letting the clock expire on possessions at the end of the game. So they weren't rubbing it in even more. This is the third string guys doing this. Pacers set the franchise record for threes made in a game, and it was a just out and out destruction of the Wizards. You guys, I'd like to hear your thoughts on that. There a lot of stuff to talk about this game. Look at the box score. Big numbers for everybody on the Pacers team. Small numbers for everybody on the Wizards team. Last game of the week, Saturday, March 29th. Pacers travel to Oklahoma City, take on the Thunder. And they had a good start to the game, but turns out SGA, pretty good. Lou Dort, pretty good. Jalen Williams, also pretty good. And they were able to win in a convincing fashion, 132-111. But I think Halliburton, at least for the first bit of the game there, was pretty solid. So 2-2 week. We are nearing the end of the season. Jason, as the host of Colson on this Pacer game you went to, and want to talk here. What was your experience, and was Colson a good guest? I want the dirt.
I mean, Colson was a fantastic guest, of course. Showed up a little bit late, but that wasn't his fault. Somehow a semi got I don't even know what you call it.
All of its contents went out onto
all of its contents got spilled on the highway. And so...
Decombobulated?
Discombobulated, de-stowaged, if you will. Yeah, no, it was an interesting game, right? So the Wizards are not good. Everybody knows this. But they always play the Pacers tough, I guess. So I was expecting a bit of a matchup. Colson was there with me and my buddy Paolo. Shout out to him, who is a Ursats Wizards fan to some degree. And he was disappointed. He showed up a little bit late and they were already down by 20. And we said, don't worry, we blow 20-point leads all the time.
Right.
And then it just kept... I mean, we were just on...
But do we blow 40-point leads?
Fire. Yeah. I think I put in the Slack at some point that, as a Pacer fan, I'm still not feeling comfortable with a 57-point lead with 6 minutes left or whatever. It was outrageous. I mean, the Wizards play zero defense, so many possessions were just wide open layups and wide open 3-point shots, but the guys were, making all of those shots too. I thought defensively played pretty solid as well. Of course, the Wizards are missing several key guys and are actively trying to flag for flag, as it were. So yeah, overall good experience, and clearly the guys were disappointed by the way that Lakers game ended, which was heartbreaking, really. The guys fought pretty well in that game, made their way all the way back. Tyrese had another and one play to get the lead, which I thought was another game winner for him. But LeBron just crafty enough, and what do you know? We can't get a defensive rebound. So there you go.
Also, during that, there was no... the talk I saw about that one was we had an opportunity to call a timeout, and we did not.
And we had didn't we have a foul to give too?
I think we had
we had a foul to give as well. Yeah, so
and we ended that game without Miles Turner, while not the best rebounder,
without
he's a big dude,
Tyrese Halliburton
and Halliburton.
Yeah.
I mean, both of those guys. I guess I'm less concerned about missing Halliburton defensively, but
and rebounding wise,
and rebound. I mean, yeah, but Miles Turner's at least a big dude. Anyway, Colson, what from the Wizards game, and what else from the week stood out to you?
Yeah, I mean the Wizards game was just real fun to be at, but also just like when you look at the box score, it looks wrong. Like 162 points is too many points. It's our franchise record. Yes, it's also the most points scored in the NBA this season. And yeah, we just couldn't miss. It was super fun. I think some of my favorite moments were the crowd was getting on Coach Carlisle to get Furphy into the game, so they were chanting Furphy, 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 and Coach calls in a sub, and so Furphy takes off his warm-ups and runs out there, and Carlisle had not called for Furphy. He called for Tony Bradley. He was caught up in the moment with people chanting his name, I guess, because he just was
on
ready
the
to go
road.
in. Yeah. And so Tony Bradley went in, and Furphy had to go sit down, and
all the fans booed.
Everyone booed. Yeah.
Fans were unhappy with Carlisle. Furphy did get a 3-pointer, and everybody cheered. It was very exciting. Mm-hmm. So
I think he had the one that put the Pacers
Yeah,
with the new
it
record.
gave them the record. Yeah.
And the other anecdote from that game. So as you mentioned, Joey, the Pacers started just taking 24-second violations with like a minute and a half left or something like that. And the Wizards crowd was not happy.
Oh
with this.
man, they were booing.
Because they wanted to see us score more.
I guess, or
I
they
think
thought it was just a slap in the face that we weren't even letting our C- team
Play basketball.
Yoke
They
on
paid
their
for-
talent.
They wanted to play for people to play basketball. That's what they paid their money for, right?
And so, yeah, I don't know. I'm curious to see you guys, hear you guys' opinion on this, because we, where we were sitting just below us was Mark Boyle and Eddie, the radio team. Mark Boyle and Eddie Gill and a stat nerd, and so we're leaving the game, and Eddie Gill is walking out the tunnel basically with us. So I, stop and introduce myself and ask him, was that uncalled for? Was that rude of the Pacers to do that? And he was like, I think so. I think it was very, I forget what he said, unsportsmanlike or something like that.
Yeah.
And I was like, well, what's the cutoff? When do you, because people do this, they take 24-second violation. He's like, I don't know, 25 seconds? I was like, okay. I don't know. But apparently my dad says that Quinn on the broadcast was like defending it and saying it was the right thing to do. I don't know. What did you guys think? You probably weren't watching live in the moment, because who would still be tuned into a game?
Yeah.
Where we're up 65.
Yeah, I don't care.
Okay.
I don't know. It's kind of a funny thing. Like I said, I was surprised there were any Wizards fans there. And, that they have any pride is weird, because their team doesn't have much.
Yeah. Well, we were saying by the end of the game, it was probably a sixth, maybe a fifth of the crowd was Pacers fans.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know. You're just putting the team out of their misery quicker, which seems like mercy to me. So I don't see a problem with it.
Yeah.
And if they can use that for bulletin board material, maybe they can play us to a 40-point win next time.
Shots fired. I like it.
I think you just made the bulletin board, Harper.
Mm-hmm. Sweet.
From this game, I found out about the Twitter account NBA Scoregami. I don't know if you guys have heard of this, but it is a tracker for unique scores, for both teams in NBA history. So I'll tack this on as a stat of the week. And this game, with the Pacers having 162 and the Wizards having 109, that combination of scores has never happened in NBA history. And it is the 3,160th unique score in the history of the league.
Okay.
So next time the Pacers are at 162, hopefully the other team has more points than that, and maybe it'll be
Or less. And it will be.
or less.
Yeah.
I guess.
I'd take the
less
162-108.
Yeah.
So I have a theory on this. So last year, the Pacers scored the most in franchise history with 157. And I think at the beginning of this year, Carlisle was like, we're going to break that number this season. I think we need to perfect our offense. We need to share the basketball, and we'll break that number. And that was a goal of his. And so I think he's going to give the same speech this coming season. And he wanted to make sure that it was a reasonable goal. Because if we'd kept scoring at the end of that game, it would have been like 175, and it's not likely we ever break that. So that's my theory. I think he called for Quentin to dribble out the basketball because he thinks 162 is passable next season as the highest score in franchise.
So he
history.
wants to be like that high jumper in the Olympics that just like raises it 1 centimeter.
Yep.
And then just walks away each time.
Exactly.
Even though he could go like another
we
foot.
could have gone way up there, but I think he's like, well, it'll be tough to get to 177. But we can get to 165 easily next season. That sort of thing.
No problem.
Yeah. And speaking of sharing the basketball, my favorite statistic from this game, Pacers dish out 48 assists on 59 field goals.
With 9 guys in double figures.
Yeah. So 80% of their field goals were assisted. Which is insane. 9 guys in double figures, nobody over 30 points. 64% from the field, 57.4% from the range, and 89.5% from the line. It was shellacking, to say the least.
It was a beat down.
Yep. I would say the more impressive win of the week, I think, was against the T-Wolves, who, yeah, obviously there was some bad blood coming into that game, and the Pacers, I thought, came out ready and played great basketball on both ends of the court for much of the game. Limited Anthony Edwards to 17 points. He shot the ball horribly, 1 of 11 from three-point range. But kind of kept everybody else in check, too. Other than Nas Reed. That guy has our number. But Halliburton was cooking. And the bench, I thought, played really well. Obi Toppin, again, cooking. He made 13 threes in 2 games against the T-Wolves this year.
I've decided I don't like guys who don't jump when they shoot their three-pointers, and Nas Reed is one of those guys. Mm-hmm. It just irks me for some reason. I don't know why, but it seems like they're not putting forth the effort, and they're still making their shots. And I think I'm just jealous, is what it is.
Yeah, I mean, I would have thought you would have loved as a perennial sufferer of sitter's knee. Yeah. I thought you would have loved. Any guy that doesn't move his legs too much.
I think it's I want those guys on. If they were on my team, I would love.
I was going to say Big Smooth. Yeah,
Big Smooth. That guy was a legend.
I see. I got it.
But when they use, my own philosophy against my team, I don't like it.
I love one of my favorite things I've decided in the world is. A sad Dante DiVincenzo, really, really great. He was broke that game and was pretty bummed about it. I like that.
Do you think he was going through something? Because I think he moved to stage anger against the Pistons tonight.
Yeah, he did.
He's having a tough week.
So yeah, there's an all-out brawl going into the stands. Is that another Pistons?
Just a little bit into the stands.
Okay.
Just the first row. Just
to see how it feels.
Just the tip of the first row. Yeah. And then, the 2 losses I thought are something that the Pacers need to, or the coaching staff needs to think about. I think so. Los Angeles presents this matchup problem for us in that they have 3 dudes that are like 6'8", 6'9". 6'7", that can handle the ball and get to the rim in Doncic, LeBron, and Austin Reeves. And we just don't have 3 guys that can defend all of those guys at the same time. No, not many teams do. So I think it's a problem for much of the league. But similarly in that OKC game, I mean, it was just like you mentioned earlier, Joey, like Jalen Williams in particular for a stretch was just doing such a great job of like getting into the semi-transition, just attacking whoever was on him, really. And Shea is a matchup nightmare. But yeah, these bigger dudes that can get dribble penetration on us that's a thing we need to figure out.
I think part of it is Siakam he just looks so tired. He's getting blown by. All his shots are short. We've talked about this last week. He just needs a break. Sit the guy down for a couple games. Let him get right. He just looks gassed. I don't know if something's hurting him or he just, it's a long season. But I thought a lot of that. I thought Jalen Williams just blowing by him a lot It's frustrating to watch.
Yeah, I mean, it's a tough decision for a coaching staff because we're currently in fourth place and only a game ahead of Detroit. So, you know. And
Well, now that they
Pascal's
have,
not
like-
going to sit himself down. So.
No, that's true. But they've got like half their team going to be suspended for at least a game, right? So maybe they'll lose the next game.
One thing that we've not spoken about on this show was, and we can talk about, I don't know if you want to talk about it now, but that it may affect us for the rest of the season is another case of deep vein thrombosis from Damian Lillard this time. And I think no ETA, right? Everything that I was seeing was hoping that he would be back by the playoffs, but there's no guarantees from what I can tell.
Yeah, he's out indefinitely.
Yeah.
In my experience with this, I mean, not that I've had this injury, but when players have had this, it's a long time usually before they come back. Like, you got to make sure that you're completely clear of any of these clots because they're deadly, literally. So.
Yeah, it's not worth messing around with.
But a total bummer for the Bucks fans. First Bobby Portis and now this.
Bobby Portis one was crap, but this is unfortunate.
Yeah, they are.
The Bucks have now lost 3 straight.
Yeah, they are dropping precipitously.
I've seen some rumblings about unhappiness with the coach, but I feel like you got what you got what was everybody knows who this guy is. I don't know. They're not going to make a change now, right?
Well, I mean, Memphis did, so apparently it's in vogue.
I believe it's on Vogue.
On Vogue? Sorry.
I'm just kidding.
Taylor Jenkins fired with 9 games left to go. And, they'd lost 4 of 5. They hadn't played great since the All-Star break, but they were, 4th currently and he's their winningest coach of all time. And they were on pace for 50 games, and they were just like, yeah, we're over it.
Who's their winningest coach of all time?
Yeah. He's been there since 2019. And they've been, pretty consistently good. They've gone to the Western Conference Finals and stuff.
No, not since he's been there.
Yeah. Haven't they?
When?
I don't know. A couple years ago. 3 years ago.
The year that they were 27 and 49 or whatever.
Okay, the year before that. I don't know. I feel like they do all right. They have 50-win seasons, and they have 20-win seasons.
Correct.
Well, yeah, and even with those wins, I think they've only gotten Ja Morant in about half of those games. So,
right.
You'd think on paper at least that they were performing at least to expectations, if not above. So, yeah, it definitely makes you scratch your head. The GM said that the players were not asking for this guy's head. So, who was, right? Strange.
Yeah.
Does he want to be an assistant coach for us?
Right.
Take me some Taylor Jenkins.
Let's see. Taylor Jenkins was successful in his 6-year run. Under his watch, they developed a long list of players, many of whom were not lottery picks, and developed an identity based on pushing the pace and dominating the possession game. Despite Morant missing 30 games, they are 6th in offensive efficiency and 4th in point differential. That's a Memphis paper being mad.
Yeah. Yeah, 6th in scoring, 11th in defense or something. So
yeah. Well, yeah. we'll see what the assistant coach can do with no time to really do much. Except a couple rah-rah speeches in the locker room.
Yeah, well, if you're a Grizzlies fan, you hope that they have something. They have some kind of plan here.
They've lost the 2 games since then, haven't they? Yeah, against the Thunder and the Lakers.
So I thought it was it after the OKC game?
Oh, maybe it was. So they lost by 19 to OKC. Yeah, so they've only lost 1 game. All right.
They're in the. Why do this now? They're in the 5th spot.
Yep.
In the West.
This is the question, Joe.
It's unclear.
Yeah. I mean, conspiracy me thinks there must be, I don't know, something going on.
What, we going for a flag all of a sudden?
No, I mean, you can't do that, but, like, maybe there's some, I don't know. Did Taylor Jenkins, like, place a bet on somebody or something? I don't know. Or, I mean, it's... Did we have, like, the Ime Udoka situation, you know? Something like that.
That was the... When you said that, that's what came to mind for me. And
sure.
He's working again, so... All's well that ends well, right? Oh, wait, no. It sounds like he probably did something that was not real cool. I don't know. I mean, it makes more sense to me to do it for something non-basketball related.
Right.
Yeah, or you just... The GM's real pissed after, they were up 2 with 8 minutes to go against the Thunder and then scored 5 against the Thunder's 28 to finish the game. I don't know.
I mean, being up 2 with 8 minutes to go is not like a deadlocked. We got this win, and you're gonna lose a lot of games where you're up 2 with 8 minutes to go. If that's a fireable offense, then
and wouldn't he have to like run this by the owner first? And
right,
I don't know. Yeah, seems like a hair trigger thing to me.
Yeah, I mean, it seems like either there was some really weird transgression that we're never going to find out about, or Ja just hates him, and they're going with Ja.
Mm-hmm.
Interesting.
Apparently, Morant doesn't like Jenkins' offense.
Which is weird because they specifically brought in the dude that implemented the offense, like, because his offense was so awesome. So, I don't know.
Yeah, who knows? Maybe we'll find out. Maybe we won't.
Yeah.
Maybe we won't.
Well, the only thing I have left to say is that on the last pod, I was very concerned about the Pacers not winning convincing games. We were just eking out all these games, and it was great for the clutch, but a lot of these teams aren't that good. They answered a lot of questions for me, just controlling that Timberwolves game from tip to finish, and then crawling back into the Lakers game, down whatever 18 it was, and getting it, and probably should have won that game outside of a miraculous play by LeBron. So this team's playing against tough teams and playing well. So the Thunder is a different beast. They're playing a different level of basketball, I think, than most of the league. So didn't expect to beat them, but I'm glad we're competing. So
yeah, well, no Ben Matherin, he would have ripped them apart. But yeah, I mean, Pacers this week. So 8 games left. We just got 2 weeks of regular season basketball left, guys.
Woo!
8 games, 6 of 8 at home. This week, hosting the Sacramento Kings on Monday, the Charlotte Hornets on Wednesday, the Utah Jazz on Friday, and then at the Denver Nuggets on Sunday. That seems like a sweep to me.
You're going into Denver, huh?
Why not?
At altitude? Okay.
Why not? We got 2 chances to break our... 3 chances, really, to break our 162 mark. So people will be rested. It'll be fine.
I'm going to go 3-1. I like crushing everybody on the road swing and then being reminded what it's like to play at altitude.
Homestand.
Yeah.
I'll take 2-2, but not the games you think. That's the other ones.
So whatever we were thinking, just pick the other 2.
That's the one.
Okay.
I guess I'm stuck with 1 and 3 then.
You could go
you're
0-4. I mean, if you want to be a real negative Nancy.
You're such a downer.
Go get
You
Charlotte.
could,
Though.
you could do the other 2 and 2 that Joey.
Yeah, the
true.
2 and 2 that you thought it would be.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's right.
Okay.
I like that better. That makes sense. Makes sense to me, at least.
Yeah, one of us will get it, Joey.
Yeah. All right. Well, as Jason had mentioned, we are careening into the end of the regular season. Pacers should be headed to the playoffs in a pretty good position. Don't know exactly where that is. I do know we will not be playing the Philadelphia 76ers, who are 10 games out of the play-in tournament, so not them. Is it Offseason P? Is that his name? I can't remember.
Yeah.
But we will be discussing more of the specifics as we get closer to time. And we'll be back with you soon. Until then, you can hit us up on social media. We are on Twitter at Undebeatables, Facebook.com/TheUndebeatables. Our website is TheUndebeatables.com. There's a contact form there. You can use that to send us a message. Email, shout out at TheUndebeatables.com. Our website /store for merch.
For the architect, Donnie Walsh, and our once and always Hall of Fame coach, Bobby Sick-Leonard. Turn out the lights, the party's over.
It's kind of nice.
Quite nice. Getting into
been
that
taking
playoff
lessons?
form. I like it.
That's right.
Yeah, you want to be singing your best at the into April and May and
Right.
June,
In June. That's right. Maybe I should be saving. I should be saving my voice. Maybe.
No, you're ramping up.
Okay.
You can do. I mean, that was great, but the sky's the limit for you, brother.
Well, I might take tomorrow off then.
I feel like
Coach, I'm tired.
Most conversations with Colson's, at some point, he brings up out of nowhere either I'm taking tomorrow off or I'm quitting my job.
I should quit my job. Yeah.
He's like, I want to go do this thing. I'm going to quit my job.
That's right. I'm going to follow my
Didn't
music
call.
career. I'm going to quit my job.
Didn't ask, work if you have the day off. He just said, well, I'm done. I like
It's
it.
easier that way, Joe.
I guess it is. You just go get another job.
Right? Don't have to ask
you
anybody
want.
permission to not go in,
You wanna?
Yeah,
It's annoying to
that's
call and
the
check
old
the
saying.
schedule, so you might as well just quit.
That's right.
That's the old saying, right? It's easier to get a new job than ask for permission.